Hello everyone, it's time for another EU news update. And as always, we have so much to talk about. It seems lately that we've been having to say goodbye to more and more influential EU authors. On February 18th, Rick Veitch announced that his brother Tom has passed away from COVID-19 at 80 years of age. Any fan of the Star Wars Expanded Universe will recognize Tom Veitch's name immediately. He was one of the writers who kicked off the EU in the first place in the early 90s. He's most known for the Dark Empire comics, where Palpatine returns in a clone body. He also wrote Tales of the Jedi with Kevin J. Anderson, my very favorite Star Wars comic series. Tom was very connected to the Star Wars fandom, and was always willing to defend the Emperor returning in his Dark Empire comics, even from Timothy Zahn. Tom seemed very tickled when the Disney Star Wars movies brought back Palpatine in a very similar way to Dark Empire. I have no doubt that he felt vindicated. And EU haters who were glad that the Dark Empire storyline got written out of canon were strangely quiet once Rise of Skywalker came out. Rick's Facebook post also shared many details of Tom's life. He lived quite a full one. I'm sure his family misses him a great deal. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read it for yourself. I'll also leave a link to his interview on StarWarsInterviews.com, where he tells how Dark Empire was created, why bringing back the Emperor was a great idea, and why Timothy Zahn criticized his work. His daughter also put up a GoFundMe to help Tom's widow, Martha, pay for rent, bills, and medical treatments. She added, "Many have reached out to ask how they can help, and I hadn't realized how many wonderful people cared about my father until now. Unfortunately, the wealth generated by popular writing and entertainment does not always trickle down to the writers, artists, and creators." A grim truth about the publishing industry. A link to the GoFundMe will also be in the description. If you contribute, or at the very least share the link, thank you. And thank you, Tom Veitch, for your work on Star Wars. It really was the foundation for the rest of the expanded universe. So apparently later this year on September 14th, Barnes&Noble is going to release one of the strangest hardcover collections that I've ever heard of. The Kenobi novel by John Jackson Miller, and apparently The Approaching Storm by Alan Dean Foster, put together in one book. No cover art yet, but it's available for pre-order on BarnesandNoble.com. So why these two books specifically? I have no idea. They both have Obi-Wan in them, but so do a lot of other books, so I couldn't tell you. I'm going to keep up with this out of curiosity more than anything else. On Yakface.com, we've gotten a few rumors about some upcoming figures. From Star Wars Infinity's Return of the Jedi, we have the redeemed Darth Vader in a white suit. Considering this is essentially just a recolor, I'd say it's right up Hasbro's alley. And second is a re-release of the Shae Vizla figure. Her current figure goes for absurd amounts of money online, so this would be a great way to get her at a much cheaper price. So with Nintendo's Direct earlier this month, we learned that the Wii version of The Force Unleashed is going to be ported over to the Nintendo Switch. I wanted to share a few more details on that. The motion controls from the Wii version will be optional for the port, in case you didn't want to use them. Additionally, like Aspire's other Star Wars releases in the past, there's going to be a physical version following the April 20th release date. Republic Commando and Knights of the Old Republic had various collector's versions with extra merchandise beyond the game itself. I'm guessing this is probably going to be the same. On February 15th, what I believe to probably be the biggest Star Wars release of the year, the Old Republic expansion Legacy of the Sith came out. While this is exciting news in of itself, it also released with a cinematic launch trailer. If there's one thing in Star Wars that can unite the entire fandom, it's these badass Old Republic cinematic trailers. Even people who don't play Old Republic love to see them. They're always such high quality, and have so much story in just 6 minutes. This one was produced by ILM instead of Blur, who made the last ones. And I did notice a slight dip in quality compared to the other cinematic trailers, but it wasn't enough to be a huge deal. And if ILM producing these trailers at a lower budget means that we'll get them more frequently, I welcome it. I'm not going to analyze the trailer here, but if you want to watch it in full for yourself, there will be a link in the description. And finally, though it's not strictly an EU news item, the new canon is finally going to explore the wedding of Han and Leia. Essentially, this is going to be the Disney canon version of Courtship of Princess Leia. It's really weird and unfortunate timing with the passing of Dave Wolverton, but I'm not too surprised that the new canon would have eventually explored their wedding too. In fact, I applaud whenever the new canon goes a different direction than the EU. If they just recanonize a bunch of characters and copy a storyline directly from the EU, then what was even the point of making a new canon? Use your creative freedom to make your version of Star Wars. So does this new canon wedding diverge a lot from the EU's courtship of Princess Leia? Oh yeah. Yeah, it certainly does alright. And what better way to tell the wedding of one of sci-fi's most iconic romantic couples? How about by tying it into the overpriced shitty-ass Star Wars hotel? I don't begrudge anyone who likes the new canon. I don't really care what happens in it, which is why I never really discuss it on my channel. But how do you like that, new canon fans? How does it feel having Han and Leia's wedding be an advertisement for the $6,000 for 2 nights experience in this cheap-looking, claustrophobic, COVID-spreading, barely resembling Star Wars excuse for a hotel? Like I said, I don't care about the new canon, but I do care when people are going to be ripped off by Disney's bullshit. What a contrast, too. This is the newest release in the Legends universe. And this is the newest announcement in Disney canon. I've said it before, many times. Courtship of Princess Leia is probably my favorite Star Wars book. Easily. With the introduction of Hapes and Dathomir, it's also one of the most important ground-laying books for the rest of the EU. And you compare that to what's going on here? Look at the Star Wars Books post on Twitter about this. Dozens of people are replying that they'll stick to Courtship of Princess Leia, and I'm right there with you folks. But what are all your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you care about yourself, your friends, and your family, please don't waste money on the damn Star Wars hotel.